headlines of different newspapers across the Republic of Kenya. Please keep tuned, keep following us in BTV, your home live TV. Now BTV, as usual, I'm your guest. I'm your host GagiIsaya, and my co-host Lenox Odede is also here with me. But before introducing Lenox Odede, remember you can follow us on Facebook page Blackman TV Kenya. You can also follow us on YouTube BTV Kenya, as well as you can follow us also on TikTok and Instagram BTV Kenya. Remember, your comments and your feedbacks are very important, as they help us to know where we are reaching you from, and they also help us to know how to improve the quality of services that we bring to you. We know we have been in a break for quite time, but now we are back with a bang. And this morning, let me welcome my co-host Lenox Odede. Lenox, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
You just declared yourself a guest.
Imagine, just because we stayed long without holding this, but that was a slip of tongue.
Okay,
and I thank God my tongue did not slip out of my mouth. Welcome, good morning.
Good morning, and thank you. And we are very happy to be back, our dear viewers, and we really love you, we really missed you, and we hope we'll still keep the conversation moving. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. As you know, always Lenox brings us what's happening in Migori County and the neighboring counties. Now let me give him opportunity to actually tell us what is happening in Migori County, what has happened in Migori County for the past 1 week, and now we are almost bringing this week into an end, and also what is it that we have that we are going to that is going to take place in Migori either today or other days to come before the end of the week. Lennox, welcome.
Yes, so first of all, a lot have happened in the county of Migori. Number one, we saw some 2 days ago we saw a suspect being arraigned in court over theft of galvanized cemented pipes belonging to Miwasco Water Company. And one thing that the suspect was charged, or rather was charged with stealing the six galvanized cemented pipes belonging to the Miwasco Water and Sanitation Company, and again being in possession of 2 galvanized cemented pipes that was estimated to be around 72,000 shillings, and the matter will be mentioned on 16th of this month, and hearing is set to be on 9th of October, and the suspect was released on bond, on 200,000 shillings bond, with a similar surety. And maybe, I don't know whether he has paid the bond or not, but if not, then he's being held at Migori GK remand prison, and that is one thing. Another thing is that today the Kisii County Agricultural Show has officially kicked off, and we hope to see various stakeholders coming in and displaying modern agriculture, and to entice people to involve themselves in agriculture, because you know agriculture it is the backbone of the economy, and we really want food. Yeah.
Now, sorry, you have really spoken about what is taking place in Migori County, and you just given us the brief, but I also remember yesterday governor was in Kakrao ward, and he was a bit organizing the grassroots, the ODM grassroots, I don't know, mobilization of I don't know, you can also give us a brief so that we get to know actually what was happening, what was governor doing in Kakrao constituency.
Actually, you know, I did not get time to attend the event. And since the beginning, I think I will be honest with you. Since the beginning, what I know is that governor is trying to solidify his support.
His support base.
Yeah, his support base. That is that is according to my opinion. Because if you look at what the governor is doing right now, we saw he met the delegates, ODM delegates in Rapogi. Then just a day after he met the ODM delegates at Rapogi, we saw another ODM delegates in Rapogi, and they were claiming that the delegates who were met in Rapogi the previous day, or rather by the governor, were not the ODM delegates who were elected from the just concluded grassroots elections. And again, I saw a day before, the other day, I saw him in Rongo, whereby he also met the delegates in Rongo, and it was named Bongana Governor. And again, I saw him in Kakrao. Also, it was just something to do with ODM delegates meeting. So I don't know what's happening. I don't know why he's doing that. But to my gaze, I think he's just trying to solidify his base. Maybe ground in Amwacha, maybe another two. Let me prepare for 2027. But all in all, what I hear him say is just about politics. People who are already salivating for gubernatorial position and all that. So I think I don't know much about what the governor is doing. So unless, because unless we get to know, because me personally, I have never attended any of the functions to maybe know what is going on.
Okay, okay, thank you so much. But also on the same note, a lot of things have been happening in Migori County. But before looking into that, I think we can also cross-check. But before we cross-check, before we even comment on what governor is doing, allow me to take this opportunity to bring our condolences, BTV Kenya, to Honorable Peter Masara for the loss of for the demise of his son Francis. I know it has not been easy, but Honorable, just believe that everything is going to be on course. We pray for God to comfort you. We know today the body left Nairobi yesterday at night, and most probably they are to arrive in Migori around between 10 to 11 a.m. this morning, and there's a lot of beehive of activities that are taking place. I don't know whether you have the idea. I don't know whether you can also bring your condolence.
Yes, I already passed my condolences to the how do I call him? The Suna West MP.
Yes, member of parliament.
Member of parliament, who is also salivating for the gubernatorial position, and probably he will be the third after 2020, after 2027, or after 2032.
I don't know why you are pushing the member of my county assembly to be the third after 2032. After 2027, not 2032.
The fact will remain that the person who will take over the mantle from Governor Chilo Ayako will be the third. So whether he takes it from 2027 or 2032, he will be the third governor.
Okay, yes. Okay.
Anyway, that was just there. So the body will be laid to rest tomorrow at Kasembo.
Yes.
Kasembo is in Suna East.
Yes.
Yes. So you know, Masara's parents, they live in Suna East constituency, and Masara is living in Suna West. But all in all, they belong to Suna West because they were once living in Oruba. So the body will be laid to rest tomorrow, and we expect several dignitaries. By the way, as from tomorrow till Sunday, this county will be very busy. This county will be very busy because we expect, so I don't know which function is it, because I have seen two posters. So the only poster I have verified that will take place is the one for Nyatike, whereby we expect Farouk Kibet and several leaders, including Aaron Cheruyot, including all the elected county MPs, governor, and all that. They will be at Nyatike for a fundraiser for 13 churches, and the fundraiser has been organized by Migori County Senator Eddie Okech, and it will be a very big function. And another one I've seen in Rongo, so I'm yet to confirm which is which. And there's a rumor that probably a very powerful woman will be here tomorrow, or it is not yet verified, but a very powerful woman might be in the county tomorrow. Okay. And it is also being rumored that the deputy president might be in Kuria on Saturday. So these are things that we will keep you updated through our pages and all that.
Okay, yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Lenox. Now, we know that is going to happen tomorrow, as the son of Solar West Member of Parliament, Honorable Peter Asara, will be laid to rest on Friday. That will be tomorrow. We pray for the safe journey as they proceed from Nairobi to Migori town, and again to home and night vigil. And tomorrow we say sorry sana Mheshimiwa, may the Lord comfort you. And we know this is going to really bring a lot of politicians in the county, in the sub-county. And again, my big worry and my big question is, will the governor be there? Which I believe is going to be there. Is going to do the honorary thing to be there. And is
when it comes to
matters of
sadness, these leaders have to come together. And I think it will be a very, very shameful thing if the governor will miss to attend such an event. Because what I always tell you and what I know, these people are friends.
Yes.
These people talk. They can call each other. Ni sisi wanatutumia. They use us to hate. They use us to hate their opponents. It's because, for example, Masara can call the governor. Governor can call Masara, and he can pick. But with me, let's say I'm allied to the governor. The governor can only pick my phone, and sometimes he can even miss to pick it. But Masara can never pick my call. So ni sisi tu huwa tunatumiwa vibaya. So it's high time we wake up, because these people, you will find out that they are business partners. They have been friends. They are still friends. It's only that politics, it's a matter of interest and all that. So right now, maybe the only difference between Masara and the governor is that the governor is the governor. Masara wants to be the governor. That's the difference. Yes, someone wants to be the governor, someone is already the governor. But politics is a game of dynamics. Maybe by 2027 you will see someone supporting someone. Yeah,
I get you. Yeah. But again, I'm waiting to see how it is going to turn out, because most politicians, when they go to the funerals, they campaign, they do politics. Yeah, okay. I wonder how Masara is going to do politics in his own funeral, and how other politicians are going to do politics in Honorable Peter Masara's funeral.
He have to be humble. Lazima aji.
Because they always begin like unajua hapa ni matanga, tupasi kuchapa siasa kwenye matanga, and you find that they end up into it. I don't know how this is going to be, because this is how but all the same we say poleni sana, may the Lord comfort you. Those are what actually happens sometimes, but we pray that God will console with the family, and God will console with the Solar West, because he was a hard-working gentleman, and after living with Mheshimiwa for quite time, he's passed on. We believe everything is going to be fine. At the end of the day, we pray for comfort to the family. Now, that is thank you, Mr. Lenox, for bringing us what happened in Migori County and what is yet to happen in Migori County. Now, let us look at different newspapers briefly, the headline of different newspapers, and see what is there, and let me see whether Mr. Lenox is going to have something to say about them. I'm beginning with the Standard newspaper. looking at what is in the Standard newspaper. The headline is President losing it. President losing it. Just before we get to that, I was forgetting something about Migori County. Did you watch Mizani polls?
I did not.
Okay, Mizani polls is saying in the order of popularity, looking at Migori County, the leaders who are aspiring or who has shown interest for the 2027 gubernatorial seat, Migori County, Mizani polls now states that Honorable Mark Nyamita is ahead, very popular, followed by Honorable Peter Masara. Then the sitting governor, Governor Chilayako, is coming third among those who have shown interest and popular in Migori County. That is what Mizani polls are showing. You can, I'm also giving an assignment, you can get there.
Yeah, I saw it, but I never watched it. I saw a poster circulating. But maybe those are some of the reasons as to why the governor has taken the initiative of visiting each and every ward. Yeah.
But we always know that polls have always been criticized.
Yeah,
polls have been, people have said some different poll researchers just give their opinion based on who they support and who they don't support. You can check on Mizani and find out that it is there running on the social media pages. Now, getting back to the Standard, President is losing it. Now, I think this headline comes as a result of what the President said yesterday when he was addressing issues pertaining to the demonstrations and what's happening in the Republic of Kenya. What is your take on the headline of today, the Standard newspaper?
I contradict that headline. The President is not losing it. I think it's high time that enough is enough. I'm not inciting anybody. But we have to be realistic.
Okay, you just said enough is enough.
Yeah,
that is what is on the headline of the Daily Nation.
Yes, enough is enough.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, go on.
Because you know, we are dealing with a lazy generation. That is what I can say, because
that's a very strong term to use, a lazy generation. Yeah. Okay, you're entitled to your opinion.
I mean, yeah, if you ask me why, I'll explain that.
Okay.
Because number one, you know, just the other time there was a research that was undertaken, and it was in the public domain, that most youths currently don't like to work. They don't embrace that what we call hard work. They really don't embrace it. They don't embrace hard work. They want what comes on a silver plate. Now, what we saw on 25th and whatever we saw on Sabasaba Day, that is on 7th, they were not pleasing. Because number one, we saw a supermarket being looted.
And touched.
And then, if you read the story of maybe this businessman whose supermarket was burned to ashes, you'll realize that this person really worked hard. His story is a story of resilience. His story begins way back in 1980. Now, this person loses a business just within 2 hours. We saw various business people employing youths to at least guard their businesses. We saw people standing next to various businesses on guard with rungus, and they were together with the policemen. So imagine mtu biashara yake haiendelei, but because he wants to protect the business, he again employs someone to protect the business. Yet that day he spends out of his pocket, but there is nothing which is coming in. That is number one. Number two, let me take you back to the burnt supermarket. Let's say the supermarket employed around minimum people a supermarket can employ is 50. Maybe because the supermarket was big. So the minimum, okay, let's work with 50.
Yeah.
Because we will have security personnel, we will have these people who
the cashiers,
we
will have the attendants,
we
will have the cleaners, we have the
people who
chefs
takes your bag and then they keep it for you, your luggages they keep it for you. We have this chef who cooks and all that.
We have the manager, the supervisor,
we have suppliers, we have all those people. So in a twinkle of an eye, these people are being rendered jobless just because of what we call maandamano and protest. It is not logical. It is not good at all. So I support whatever the president said. In fact, he never said that kill them. He just said, wachapem go. Take them to hospital. Take them to whatever. Because it's high time the president needs to protect our country. Remember, when he was being sworn in, he was given the instruments of power. The sword, the constitution, how do we call this other one? And all those. This is what will protect our country. So, it's high time the president needs to give orders to the security agencies to deal with this lazy generation. Because our country needs to move forward. We can't live in a country whereby we move a step forward, then we move 2 steps backward. Because right now, very many people, a lot of people, because it was not just a supermarket, we saw cars being burnt down. Maybe someone was employed as a driver. This person is now jobless just because of your of someone being incited by someone. So if these people are being incited by politicians, then let these politicians come out and speak to the government by themselves. Let them not use the youths. Let them not use people's business for their own political gains. It is not logical. We can't live in such a country.
Okay, before I comment, let us also look at what is in the other newspaper, the 2 other newspapers. That is the Taifa Leo. Mtajua hamjui. That is what is on the headline, Taifa Leo. And we also have the Star. I dare you to overthrow me. I dare you to overthrow me. Now, looking at these different newspapers and looking at what the president talked about yesterday, he talked about so many things. You have talked about losing of jobs. Many people have lost their jobs, especially those who worked in the supermarket which was burnt down. And we did see the president coming out, both president, the deputy president, Kithure Kindiki, and the same. Kithure Kindiki said 6 out of 10 Kenyan youths are jobless. That is what to go by. And the president said the idea of lack of job did not begin with this reign. It is something that has been existing. During the reign of President Kibaki, not everybody was employed. During the reign of former President Uhuru Kenyatta,
not everyone was employed.
Not everyone was. There was an outcry over lack of employment. That is inadequacy employment. And the president said, this thing does not begin with my leadership. I'm trying to do what I can do best to see how we can contain this. But let us know that it did not begin with me. So if we are crying, then we have to go. Then I also did hear some of the economists and political we call the political analysts saying that what is happening in Kenya today, in as much as it is as a result of bad governance, as many will put it out, but it is also as a result of many young people today do not know how to react to situations, and some also do not know how to tackle issues that is lying ahead of them. And for example, in the issue of taxation, you can't say we are overtaxed. You can't say we are being taxed. If we don't want to be taxed, how is the government going to find money to run the government, funds to run the government? If we are not going to be taxed, how is the government going to find money to actually fund the government projects and bring development both nationally and to the county levels? So we look at what's happening in this generation and you see that nobody is ready to listen. They criticize everything. The president come up with the housing, and you see they are against criticizing the housing project and all that. But looking at this, it has employed a lot of people, and we see, I don't know what you have to say about the Gen Z and how they react, because people are also saying that whoever you saw on the streets, most of them are not the Gen Zs. There are people who are out, and it is like they're waiting. When is another mandamano going to be called? When is another demonstration going to be called?
You know, actually, those who go to the streets, most of them are not Gen Zs, but I can say most of them are thieves who are ready to vandalize and steal. Because even if you look, I'll give an example with Migori County. That very day, siku ya Sabasaba, at night, there are people who were already lighting bonfire at the footbridge, Migori Primary Footbridge, at the bridge. And then at around, they were just looking for shops to loot and all that. And it is something which happened on 25th, I think, whereby some shops were broken into and all that, and they tried to, but then they were contained. So I think the demonstration is good, but how do you do it? Because now lazy people who are idle, people who have nothing to do, they have nothing to lose, they come out, then they do all those nasty things. So maybe we've seen teachers demonstrate, we've seen doctors demonstrate, we've never seen them destroying property, we've never seen them disrupting the economy. But why is it now? Why must someone use these people for his political gain? I saw the deputy president, not the deputy, but former deputy president, they impeached one. Lamenting yesterday, blaming the government for the maandamano. So how can the government sponsor something which is pinching it? How can you sponsor something which is pinching you?
That's a food for thought. That's something that we've got to delve into in details, but because we don't have much of that time, sorry for that, because we don't have much of that time, we also have to check onto some other things that we are having there. Now, I still want us to talk a bit, because we have a bit like some few minutes to discuss on this, on matters that pertains to what has been happening. The Gen Zs, we are still here. We can't run away from this, because this affects us directly. Now, the president gave the orders from the newspapers. We say, if I dare you to overthrow my government. That's the Star newspaper. The president asking, I dare you to overthrow my government. And we also did hear the president saying sometimes back that we living for where? To really hand over the government, and for what? Are the Gen Zs ready? Are the Gen Zs ready? From the ones that you see, do you believe they have the ability of leadership? Can they lead?
You know, the Gen Zs can only be ready through the ballot. The only way to take over, if they want to take over the government, let them register as voters, let them take IDs. On that fateful day, let them come out in large numbers, let them go and vote, and let them vote for that person they want to be their president. But one thing you have to know, and I want you to do this today, between today, this is an assignment I'm giving you, between today and Monday, now in our show, Monday show, I want you to come with this, and I'm also going to redo it. Any young person you meet, from full leave, those hata naonanga kuna wengine wanakujanga unawashughulikia when it comes to application of help and all that. I want you to be asking them a random question. Will you vote 2027? Are you ready to vote come 2027? You will find out that 6 out of 10 of them are not ready to vote, especially ladies. But this is an assignment I'm giving you. On Monday, just come and tell me that out of the 10 I asked that random question, maybe 6 or 5 are ready to vote, 5 are not ready to vote, or 4 are not ready, 6 are not ready. But it is 6, the ratio is 6 to 4.
Okay.
6 to 4, that is 3 to 2.
Yeah, 3 to 2.
Yeah, 3 to 2. The ratio is 3 to 2.
You simplified it.
Yeah, the ratio is 3 to 2. Yeah.
Okay. That is having said that, let us move to what we are having in the People Daily newspaper. Now, looking at the People Daily newspaper, the headline, Kenya sliding into tyranny. Now, that is the headline of the People Daily newspaper. Kenya heading into tyranny. And we also see there on the cover page, we see the picture of the photo of the President William Ruto. We see the picture there. You can also go with me, and also we see the picture of former Deputy President, that is Rigathi Gachagua. Mr. President, nobody wants to overthrow your government. Nobody wants you out of power through unconstitutional means. Now, that is what Rigathi Gachagua is saying. We also look into that, and also on the same cover page we see officers operating in unmarked Subarus revealed. You can also check that story is on page 2 of the People Daily newspaper. And also we see kidney patients walking into their early graves due to shaft failure on page 8. We don't know what that is much of. And also we see disclosed how counties will share 79 billion Kenyan shillings. How the counties will share that much. That is also on page 13 of the People Daily newspaper. Now let me get into what is in the People Daily newspaper. That is, I'm going to jump to page 3. I want to talk about this, but thank God it is here. Call for justice as mourners honor slain mask vendor. Now you remember the video went viral where you see the police officer, they engaged in a talk, kind of a quarrel with a gentleman who was selling masks. Then before you know it, the guy was shot. And I did see it from the social media. I don't know whether it was the truth that the police officer was saying it was an intended shot. He did not want to shoot the guy. And the guy was in the hospital, and unfortunately he passed on, and there's been mourning. And from the latest demonstrations that took place in across the country and some other parts of the country, country, we learned that from now we are doing the revelation coming out. There's a lot of deaths that occurred, and there's been killing that has been happening. I don't know what you can say about the killing of what is happening. The protesters are here, they are killed, the police are accused, and because you know my position, I will always defend the police because they are humans.
You know, Mr. Isaya, you know, I think it was in physics, is it in Form 1 or Form 2? Whereby we were taught that for every action,
there is consequence.
For every reaction, there
is
action.
An action. And for every action. No, for every action, there is reaction.
Yes. So for every action, yes, there is a reaction.
Yes.
I don't want to comment on the face mask vendor, but I was not there. The only scene we saw was the mask vendor being shot. We don't know what happened prior to that. I wish the person who was recording that video, that very video, could have showed us how everything began and what happened even before that incident. Yeah.
Okay.
For every action,
there is reaction.
There is a reaction.
Okay. Looking at what happened, and we have witnessed severally when there's demonstrations, especially from June 25th to the Sabasaba that we witnessed. We have seen youths who are daring the police.
Yeah.
And you find they do some crazy things. They do some things that you don't expect them to do to the police, and expect the police to cheer and clap to them.
You know, they do some things that even you yourself who is watching them, you feel provoked.
Yes.
Have you ever felt provoked by something which is being done to someone?
Yes. Like
the other time I saw, I was made to understand that he was a Ugandan national. Mwenye alibewa panga, anashtua polisi hivi, anaweka hivi. So you wonder, huyu jamaa akona panga, polisi akona bunduki na risasi, and he is still provoking the police. Hadi afike kwa polisi anamuinulia panga hivi. Then you wonder, what's really happening? There's a video which was captured by a colleague of ours, Hamolava, from Hispania. You could see those young people provoking the police, wanawarushia mawe, wanakuja, nini. Yet, there are people, there are boda riders who are just there, wametulia tu, wanawaangalia. Then when you look at the people who are provoking the police, they are young people, then you begin to wonder what's happening.
Like I did see this video of a lady going to unmask the police officer. You see, to me it is, we've come this far. These are also human beings. You provoke them.
They want us to. They want us to treat police officers as people who doesn't have feelings. Yet us, we have feelings. So if you want to treat someone as if he's not a human being, mwenye akona hisia kama wewe, what do you expect? Because you know, people are raised in different environments
and different setups.
People are raised in some were raised in a bitter environment, and he's always bitter. So do you think this person who was raised in a bitter environment and he becomes a police officer, and he was, you know, for example, I'll give you an example. Me myself, I was raised in a neighborhood whereby I could see where we lived. The brothers of that particular homestead would fight each and every time, especially when it was planting season. Brothers born by the same mother, by the same father, fighting over, how do we call, a boundary. Eti umepanda mahindi ukapitia kwangu nini. So you know, people who are raised in such an environment whereby watu wanainuana panga nini, that person, he knows that violence is the order of the day. So what if he becomes the police officer? Will you really joke with him?
And you provoke him.
Will you really provoke him and go
Scot-free.
So we just have to be careful when it comes to maandamano. If you have got nothing to do in town, kaa kwa nyumba. And if you have to go to the street, just carry your placard, write whatever you want to be written there. Andamana, tembea kutoka Namba Junction mpaka Posta Grounds. Mkipenda mwite media, mtoe presa yenyu, ikifika saa 5 kila mtu aende kwao. You will be hard.
But again, you have to get the authority, the permission to picket, because
to do it peacefully.
Yes.
You will be hard. You will be hard. You will be hard. But violence, you know, what I hate with violence is that when you bring violence, then I also have to be violent.
Actually, they say violence begat violence.
Yeah. So that is what I hate with violence. But what about peace? Ukikuja pole pole, na mimi niko na ubaya, hata mimi nitatulia. No.
Okay. Looking at page 4, slide into autocracy. Ruto's harsh stand on demos cause for alarm. Now the president has come out. The Kenya Kwanza coalition has absorbed rival MPs in drove, creating artificial majority that undermines checks and balances. That story by Ruben Mwambingu on page 4. Now the president was out and very fierce and say this has to stop. And remember, now the Kenya Kwanza government has the majority of members of the parliament. That is a section of all the members of the parliament, and also a section of Azimio, and also as a huge number from the Kenya Kwanza. So it is like nobody's cross-checking what the government is doing. They just support blindly.
I don't think so, because there are people who are saying that we will keep the government on check from inside. But now, when things are going astray, and I think we've had SARS, we even saw, recently we saw Senator Eddie Oketch proposing some of the things that should be done in the government. Yet he's from inside, but he's trying to help the government, telling the government, you really need to do this, you really need to do this, you really need to do this, you really need to do this. So I think this Gen Z thing is just making everyone have his own opinion on what is happening. Because with some, they will think that maybe the opposition leaders, or rather the ODM elected leaders, are now not keeping the government on checks. But we've seen them coming out and telling the Gen Zs, please, if you have to speak, look for an alternative way to speak. Don't use violence. We've seen the governor Chilo Ayako telling them, please don't use violence to speak. We've seen Marco Golanyamita, the MP for Uriri, telling them, please don't use the violence to speak. We've seen, how do we call this person? How do we call this leader? MP Masara, Suna West MP Masara, telling them, please, if you have to speak, come out and speak in a way that you can be heard, but please don't use violence.
Okay. I get you. Now, looking on to page 5, still on politics, before we just wind up briefly, we see Gachagua dismisses Ruto's coup claims. President Ruto claimed that there is a coup that is planned against the government, and we also see the deputy president, the former deputy president Gachagua, coming out and dismissed, and he's saying that nobody wants to overthrow your government.
You know, in politics is where you can really beat your opponent. And we've seen it even in Migori County. There are politicians who orders their people go and beat those people thoroughly well. And immediately after those people being beaten, they come out and say, you know, we need peaceful campaigns, we need peaceful elections, we don't want people to fight, we don't want all that, we don't. They will say all good things, but at the back of his mind, anajua wale watu nimewapiga out of camera or out of interview. So when you are speaking now at a personal level, then he will tell you, no, You just mock him, mheshimiwa, you know, in as much as umesema hii, lakini we know uliwapiga. Hapa kwangu hakuna mtu anaweza niletea ujinga. You see that scenario. So a politician will do every nasty thing, and then he will come out to clear his name.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a story on 26. I don't know whether you checked on it. Why Luo Nyanza went mute amid Gen Z protests.
I don't think whether they went mute, but we had many of them speaking.